Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Nigeria Now on Echo Television, where we keep you updated for some of the happenings presently in the country, looking at various sectors, and then we'll see as much as we can to discuss. And do remember, you can be a partaker of this program by dropping your comment, your views on Facebook as well as on YouTube. I'm Sela Elisha Dashon, and I will be doing the program alongside Rachel Tansy. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Afternoon, Sally.
All right, let us go into the discussion for today, and we would like to start with where we're seeing that the CNPP have advised the federal government against clampdown on protesters, as we are aware that there have been moves by Nigerians to protest first to 10th of August, and we're seeing that a number of reaction it's actually spiking up, and then the number of people are giving their views on it, where we're seeing that even the special advisor to the president, Bayo Onanuga, is saying that Peter Obi of the Labour Party is the major sponsor for that. And I mean, I was looking forward to a time where the government will be looking at this protest as a way of Nigerians expressing themselves,
Yes.
looking at the economic hardship that is going on presently. I was looking forward to where the government would rather sit back and say, okay, what can we do to address this issue? And I think this whole thing started from when we saw the protests in Kenya, where we are seeing that even the president seems not to be having a hold of what is happening in his country, because it's more like he's having a choice. It's either he steps down or he bows to the needs of the people, and then he seems not to know what to do. We're seeing here the conference of the Nigerian political parties coming together, stating to the federal government that rather than moving to actually stop protesters from protesting, because we are aware, Richard, that this is uh, a constitutional right being given to Nigerians according to our constitution. And we will recall what happened during the ECOWAS court, where they ruled in favor of Nigerians, saying that that was a violation of human rights, where we saw the government coming out to stop especially the youth from protest. And I think this is another hashtag. I think we saw it in some of our papers in
Yes.
the morning. Hashtag end bad governance, hashtag Tinibus, and so many hashtags are coming up. But I think the main aim is to end hunger in the land, as well as bad governance. We've said this over and over, the fact that rather than having governance, we've been having politics play. We saw where even Ndume is refusing to be quiet, despite the fact that he has been removed as the chief. We were saying that he's still stating the fact
Yeah.
that, in fact, even the 70,000 that the federal government is giving is not enough to be able
Not.
to address these issues. But then, I mean, the federal government is actually looking at saying that, Nigerians shouldn't protest because they feel that hoodlums will take advantage of that. But I believe it's the responsibility of the government to protect Nigerians if they decide to protest, because that is their human right eventually.
Sally, if there's anything peculiar about the Nigerian government, they might not accept it, but they are anti-people on a lot of level. From the policies they make, that is our government, to the way they treat civilians. Our minimum wage, for example, doesn't show a government that cares about the standard of living of its people. We can move that aside. The economic policies that the government is putting doesn't look like the government want a common man to thrive business-wise. And then when you look at how the government treats civilians when it comes to protest, you just know that the government don't have the people in mind. They might come out and say, it might look like we are saying the palliative, and not every time. I remember when we talked about it, I said it's not the government saying they will give to it. Have the states received it? And this morning we saw that a lot of states are yet to receive it. Some states have seen and some have not seen. These are all the things that when you look at it, except if we decide to be blinded by the fact of what is happening right in front of us, I believe that we'll just keep being in the same vicious cycle concerning about where we are going to, where we're heading towards as a country. We can talk about the hashtag NSAS protest because it is one like this one, and we are seeing this one is hashtag end bad governance, different hashtags, but I believe is the same goal and aim. Now, remove a Peter Obi from this scenario, remove whatever public figure, Nigerians will still take the street. Because Peter Obi is a better privileged Nigerian. He can sit down and not talk, and other Nigerians will talk. He's a more privileged Nigerian. As a matter of fact, he's not feeling the hardship. I don't think petrol price has a direct effect from him. He was one time a governor. He does have pension coming in for him and all of that. He is more than an average Nigerian as far as I'm concerned. We can take out key political figures. We can take out Atiku from the equation. We can take out anybody that looks like an opposition to the present administration, and we will still have Nigerians taken on the street. Why? There was once a time, there was a protest concerning against the past administration, Muhammadu Buhari, and it was championed by celebrities. It was championed by voices that could be heard. So we can take out political figures. There will always be a voice that will wake up to speak against what is going on, regardless of what the present government of the day would say about it. And yes, CNPP have to come out and talk, because for whatsoever reason, you cannot fire life ammunition at unarmed citizens. This tell you that the government don't regard. We might talk about Boko Haram, herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen, and all the things that are happening in our rural area. Same is being done to a common man by the government of the country. So as a civilian, you can't say the government also terrorizes its citizens when they dare speak up. That is the fact of the reality. When you want to calm a situation, why are you firing live bullets at civilians that are holding sticks and stone? A stone is no match for a gun. Even if they throw stones at you, it's no match for a gun. You are trained to be able to curtail whatever situation in a civilian-friendly way, and it does not involve arms. And for the parties involved in this thing, I believe that it also boils down to them to be orderly in a lot of ways, where we saw CSO saying that they will make sure that there are no people trying to cause any problem. When they come across any, they'll make sure they hand such over authority. So for every organization that is going to be involved in this protest, they also have their role to play. But I am also waiting to see what the government will do when a chaos should start. Will you shoot at your civilians, or will you take care of the situation the right way as you were expected? In fact, a knife seller is no match for a gun. So even if you have a protester holding a gun, a knife, you're not to shoot at that person. It is no match for it. As long as there is nobody holding a gun back at you in the process of this protest, you cannot fire at civilians. And this is where I am waiting to see what will be the outcome at the end of this protest at the end of the day. And so far, so good. The Nigerian government's reaction towards chaos and trying to put things in order have not been civilian friendly. It has been anti-people at all levels. I'll never stop talking about how we had a protest in school. These were students, not even holding stones and sticks. And when the government came, when the military came, of course, ordered by the government because they cannot act on their own, why do we even have soldiers coming to such a scene in the first place?
When we have the police,
are those terrorists, are those bandits? Why are they even there in the first place? And shooting at students that were not holding sticks or stones and all of that. We've seen that countless times. So yes, on the other side, the government needs to prove to us also, it's not just about threatening us and telling us not to go for protest. When we decide to act on our rights and our duties as civilians, how are you going to treat us? Also goes a long way about your government and how you see the people you rule over.
Rachel, I believe if things were going smoothly, nobody would have actually saying they are going to go on protest.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to a government that is not afraid to be held accountable for things that are happening. Because over the years, we've seen that the moment you speak out, you've become a target, and you rightly mentioned you could go back to what happened then in school. I mean, you are protesting because there have been no water, there have been no light.
Yeah.
This is what the school is supposed to say. Yes, this is within the students' right. They paid for all of this.
Yes.
Why are we not providing? What can we do? So rather than providing solutions over the years, we've seen the government that choose to act the way they feel like acting, and also moving in the pace they feel that is okay for them to move. So just like you rightly stated, I'm happy that the conference of the Nigerian political parties are coming together to talk about this. And I hope that this will not be just one of those things again that has been said and then will be pushed under the carpet. Rather, let us see the body language coming from our leaders, willing to take responsibility. That you know what, there is hunger in the land. You know what, we've encountered bad governance. What can we do to be able to address all of these things? Believe you me, I mean, today is 22nd. So you have over a week to address the issue. If truly there's going to be protests from that 1st to 10th of August, you shouldn't be afraid if people protest. Because when you're not doing, just like you said, I mean, if this anti-people policies, definitely people will protest.
Yeah.
We did not pay our tax for you to use it and lash your dogs on us and then unleash your dogs on us and make us to keep quiet. Just like you said. So I hope that the government will look at it from people who are exercising their human right to voice out issues, injustice being done to them. Now we're seeing, I mean, for over 2 weeks now, we've been having the back and forth coming from the NNPCL, Dangote also accusing the IOCs of various allegations have been coming back and forth. And we just cannot wrap our head behind the fact that why is he going through all of this? We're seeing allegations concerning the fact that he's exercising more like a monopoly. And then you ask, I mean, if you say he's a monopoly, what stops you from also having your other organizations that can actually compete with him as well? We know that if we are going to look at it and be very realistic and not be biased about this, and we know that when it comes to the employer of labor, Dangote is one of the highest. When you talk about the highest taxpayers in Nigeria, he is one of them. And so we can go on and on and on and on. Now we even see him the fact saying that he has been warned not to invest in Nigeria, but he felt that, you know what I mean, this is my fatherland, why should I invest in another country rather than enriching my country? But it seems as if the government of the day is fighting him because he's not finding things funny. Here we're seeing that there's going to be another test again on his diesel, and he said he has been exporting to other neighboring countries. So you just cannot help but wonder, where is all of these allegations and accusations coming from at this point in time?
So there's only people who don't know what they're doing will accuse Dangote of being a monopolist in any way. Okay, first of all, Dangote is not monopoly. He's not a monopolist. In an economy that is mixed, why is your bone of contention with a capitalist rather than the socialist that is failing you? Because there is a market structure for everybody to thrive, right? So why is your attention on the capitalist? What about the socialist that is not functioning? And this is what I mean. If your concern now is that now Dangote is going to have a refinery and it gives him an edge when it comes to oil production in the country, then why are you not asking your government for all these years, why are their own refinery not functioning? I don't think Dangote stopped them from having a refinery.
Meanwhile,
Dangote came a few years later where we have decades of abandoned refineries that are not functional. Refineries in strategic places in the country that are not functional. Whose fault is it if Dangote is making headway to be making headways to become a monopolist when it comes to exactly? Now, he's not a monopolist because, first of all, he's not the singular seller of a product. You have to be a single seller of one product. There was a time Dangote was the monopolist when it comes to cement, but it stopped there because now we have other cement companies. He is only but dominating the market, and everybody have the right to dominate it. Now the question is, whose fault is it that one person is dominating it? Is it your government that have refused to make the market conducive for other small, medium enterprises to grow to large enterprises? Because he has been ahead, so automatically he will stay at the top. Now who you're supposed to look at is a system that have refused to make it for those who are at the bottom to grow to the top, because that's how the market structure is supposed to be, that you grow. So whose fault is it that you cannot grow to become a monopolist also? These are all the things you need to look at, and you just can't help but wonder, give or take, regardless of what the market may be, we are still going to benefit. We have been benefiting for a very long period of time. If we will be honest, Dangote's products have had one of the fairest prices in the market. We can look at sugar, we can look at flour, we can look at salt, we can look at every other thing that it's available in the market. We've had a fair enough price coming. I believe the increase started. We can look at the cement when he is also faced by a harsh economy where we saw how he has talked about what we're talking about, our inflation, and we're going to talk about the interest rate and all of that. So I believe that Nigerians, we need to really focus at where the problem is. I don't think Dangote is the problem. Your government is the problem. And these allegations of course, to me, is bizarre, because he is dominating the market. Yes, but he is not a monopolist. He is not a monopolist. He is dominating the market, which you should content with your government for not making the market suitable for a small enterprise to grow within a span of 10, 20 years, 30 years to become a large enterprise. We have businesses that have been in the same place for too long. Why? Because the market doesn't favor them to grow. That is the fault of your government, because you too can be a monopoly if you were having a favorable atmosphere to grow to that level.
You know, it seems as if Dangote just step on the foot of some oil cabals, and they're just
That's
trying to
how
get
it looks
back
like,
on,
yes.
at him. Because remember when he made the allegation of adulterated fuel coming in,
Yes.
I was saying it's more like right now, because he pointed the finger, they're pointing back the finger at him, because right now a committee has been set up. There's a forensic investigation that needs to be done concerning the, you know, the software that they said is being found. And he said that they're free to come and check, because he does everything he needs to do to make sure that his diesel, his PMS, and everything that will be used will actually be good and not cause any confusion or destruction. And just like you rightly say, rather than fighting the capitalists, why don't you fight the government of the day? We're still waiting for the Port Harcourt refinery to start functioning. He asked for it, they didn't give him. Right now they're coming out TV say that he has not been fully licensed. He's still under the, you know, registration period, and then just commencing and all of that. But we'll keep our fingers crossed, because I believe that this story is far from being over. There's still much to actually be unveiled, but I just hope that, just like we said, let's actually attack the right person that we are supposed to fight, rather than, you know, fighting the capitalists eventually. Well, thank you so much, Rachel.
You're welcome, Sally.
And as well, thank you to our viewers, our supporters, and every other person that made this program a success. We look forward again to doing this tomorrow. Please do have a wonderful day ahead.